And I thought, great, I needed an easy project to work on this afternoon, so that's what we're going to do. So the first part is this, the home plate shape, and I attached this to some poplar, thinking I may paint this. I'm not sure. You probably paint it white since home plate would be white. I just attached this pattern to the wood, and I went to the bandsaw, cut the pattern just a little bit shy of the line, and went to this disc sander to sand it down to the line. Okay, we're back from the drill press. There's the play ball home plate, and I drilled the pilot holes for the letters. Now, these 3 squares there are so that you can attach the back with these 3 tabs. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've used that kind of tab construction before, and they never work out really well for me. They're never perfect. There's always a little bit of fuss around those edges, and rather than fool with that, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to leave these. I'm not going to cut those spots out. I'm not going to put tabs on the back. I'm just going to make it a butt joint across here, and I'll secure it with some screws from the back. So, makes it even easier. I don't use screws often, but this time it seemed like a good idea. The third part of the piece was this, and by the way, Steve, you spelled thick wrong, but I understand I mistype things all the time. Anyway, this is optional, a 1/4 inch thick baseball to go on the wall hanging, and so I will almost certainly make that because I love doing anything I can do on the scroll saw. So let's move to the cutout stage. I put the pattern on a piece of 3/4 inch poplar. I will need to go to the radial arm saw here to cut this to width, and then I will take it to cut it to length, and then I will go to the table saw to rip it to width. I've cut this to length and width, and there's a couple corners to come off. I'll do those, and then there's the one slot for the baseball bat. I have a number 9 Pegasus modified geometry blade in the saw. Right now those Pegasus blades are my go-to blades. I really like them. They do a good job. Aggressive enough, make a good cut, but don't leave a lot of tear out on the bottom. There's always a little bit of fuzziness there, but not much. About as good as any I've found, and better than most. Corners. It's going to need a little bit of cleanup at the disc sander. And I'm going to use a Forstner bit for I think I got one big enough for that large hole that the baseball will sit in. Alright, now we'll do the letters. There's only a few, 8 letters, so there's 10 cuts because of the P and the B each needing 2 cuts. These are pretty good sized letters, so there's no real tricky cut here. Nothing difficult. I'm going to go in to the corner. And in the each corner. Now the bottom pop right out of that. And then I'll go to the other side. With a little bit of practice, you can make these 90-degree corners. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Alright, there's my first cut. I'll do the second half of the P, and then I'll tell you how I'm doing it on the L where there's a 90. Okay. The letter L has got every corner's a 90. So let me go into that. I usually put the pilot hole so I'm near one of the corners. I'll go right into the corner, and then what you do is you back up a little bit with the blade so it's not cutting. Then you make your turn, you pivot the blade at 90 degrees, and then you start cutting. It's almost harder to explain than it is to do. Back up just a little bit. Make your turn. Get to the next corner. Back up just a little bit. Make your turn. So this is a good project for somebody that's somewhat new to scroll sawing, but maybe not a lot of experience with inside cuts. None of these are complicated or intricate. And that's what the first couple letters look like. So I think this would be a good project for someone that's relatively new to scroll sawing. It's a good place to learn how to do those inside cuts. Alright, I'm going to make the rest of those letter cuts. The technique is the same for all of them, so there's nothing else to teach or learn here. And I'll come back when we're ready for the Forstner bit to make the place for the baseball and to do some joinery. This one I think is calling out for a round over on the edges. And so take it to the router table, do that. I finished up the baseball wall hanging here, play ball. Like I said before, I believe white is the most appropriate color for that since home plate would be white. I did make the baseball too. I cut that out on the scroll saw. Let me go get my mask. My voice sounds different because I got the mask on. I do have this fairly well ventilated. There's an exhaust fan right above me.